for building a top performer profile in you coaching. Okay, so Travis, you want to go ahead?
So there's two components of what Eric's referencing. We as an organization, as a company, we primarily are wanting to supply and provide and then the software that I keep referencing, the erep.com software, it's actually pretty extensive. There's a lot of things under the hood, so to speak. If I use the car analogy, there's a lot of things under the hood that we can utilize within organizations. The one thing that we actually don't really do as an organization is do the actual coaching and teaching and training inside the organizations. So like we've got an organization that we just did their startup with. One of their primary questions is, well, how do we get additional coaching, teaching, training? Especially if we want executive coaches and things like that. We don't do that. We do some of it, but we like to leverage folks that are out in the community, coaches, teachers, trainers, who can actually work with these organizations to actually deliver that. So that's part of what Eric's referencing. We like to access this network of individuals similar to yourselves who we can refer some of these organizations, companies, and individuals to utilize the CVI for coaching, teaching, and training in that regard. One of the things that we have on our platform is we have a kind of a testing program that allows us to gauge the knowledge, skills, and ability of an individual. And one of those components is we have the ability to actually ascertain the level of engagement of coaches, teachers, and trainers. So we've got the first level of that assessment developed. So what we're testing for is as we make referrals into organizations, we want to make sure that we're consistent in what we're referring into that organization as far as the resource. So we have a level 1 assessment completed. So basically you take we like to keep it around the same 7 to 9 minutes that it takes to take the CVI. Why not make something that aligns with that well? So as we work with companies to do, like, say, a foundations course where it's the initial exposure to the CVI, anybody that's passed the level 1 assessment on the EREP platform can go into that organization, or we can refer into that organization to do a foundations course. That's the very basic concept of introducing people to the CVI. And then level 2, we don't have that assessment developed yet, but it will allow for an additional, maybe that coach then can do this next level of CVI, coaching, teaching, and training within the organization. Then level 3, they'll be able to do everything. Executive team profiles, some types of human capital audits, all of those things then will be available to that highest level certification. And all that's already built in our platform. We already have level 1 developed and deployed, and we'll do a level 2 and a level 3. So that as we refer coaches, teachers, and trainers into organizations that we work with,
is that what this is?
We'll have a consistency. Yes, that's...
And I'll talk about that a little bit later.
Correct. So that's what Eric wanted me to touch on. But really, for us, we really want to be able to connect with a resource similar to you folks to be able to refer that into organizations and even individuals and folks that we work with. So we get those requests all the time.
And Travis, you were saying normally the process is about $2,500 for a top performer profile.
Mm-hmm. Yep, which we referenced earlier.
And about $250 a month for them to access that, meaning that they can get more CVIs and have people that come through the process of hiring. They have access to all that for $300 a month it's a year-long contract, so that's another $3,000. So that's about $5,500 for a company. And then you train that company in, what did you say that class was? It's Foundations class. And that's the one that you were saying that you don't necessarily need to be doing that.
Correct.
But that's where the coaches, if they were at these certain levels,
correct,
could go in and do that foundations class. Mm-hmm. And that usually pays about, you said $2,500 or something.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to do a foundations course for an organization, for a company. And it's a $2,500. There's 14 people that are going to take the foundations course. It's a 2-hour session, and they'll pay us $2,500. The average executive team profile, which is a 4-hour course where we do a deep dive unpacking their CVI for up to 15 people, that's $7,500. And I do at least one of those a month. And so when I'm quoting some of those numbers for coach, teacher, trainer, that's your revenue. The only revenue we receive from that, unless we refer you to that. So if we refer the customer, there's a different structure. But if you work with that customer doing something like that, where you're doing a foundations course, again, that's usually roughly about $2,500. It depends on the number of folks that are in the meeting. Then basically all you're doing is purchasing the CVIs to use to conduct that course. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. And I do anywhere from about probably 5 to 6 of these a month, all around the country. And so it's really not just looking at putting right people in the right seats, but really organizational health all the way around.
So I have an HR consulting and coaching business, and I'd love to have a further conversation
Yeah,
with you.
yeah,
but
yeah.
This is kind of, I mean, I don't have your information here, but.
Yeah, the business cards are much more compact. But yes, I think once you start getting to the practical sense of how this is done, I think that's the best.
Yeah.
Doing more of having a conversation like that is more expansive. But yes, I mean, like I said, I do anywhere from 6 to 8 of those events a month all around the country at varying levels of opportunity. So, but in those situations, and those are the things that we would really love to work with folks that are practitioners who do that well and engage them in those opportunities.
Does that help answer the questions on the link and how you can communicate with them? Okay.
All right.